Andersen Opus 33, number 18. This is a big challenge for articulation. I'll do my best to play it, and then we'll talk about it. It's very, very difficult. So, you can play it all the way through with no nuance. I kind of did that. I was listening to myself and I got distracted as I went through this, and I went, I'm not really doing what's in the text. I'm just playing through and making sure that everything sounds homogeneous and good. But you know what? Take risks in life, guys, because if you just are going around trying to play the bare minimum so that you don't get in trouble, that's not the goal of art, and that's not the goal of music. Let's take a look at the text. In the first measure, you have almost the opposite of everything I've been trying to teach you. You have register projection on purpose. What is register projection? Register projection is when the high notes on our instrument tend to pop out louder than the lower notes. Andersen is asking us to do that almost on purpose. In music theory, you would note these going from a pitch of an A flat to a B flat as an upper neighbor. It's what I call the musical triangle when it returns back. So you have a pitch of an A, you go up a step, and you go back to that A. The musical triangle, or an upper neighbor, that B flat. We can do it in reverse too. The lower neighbor, A going down a step and then returning back to the A. Usually, we don't want the upper and lower neighbors to pop out. It sounds weird, you know? So we avoid that in classical and Baroque style playing. However, this really, really wise composer and flute player, Andersen, almost said Leroy Anderson. Andersen, asks us to do this on purpose. And I think the reason why is so that we can control that aspect of playing. If you can do the wrong thing on purpose, then you can just shut that off and control it in doing the correct way in other musical contexts. Don't just try to do the right thing. Practice doing the wrong thing on purpose. And number 18 is a perfect example of that. You could just play all the way through. It's not hard. That part is easy. What's difficult is doing the wrong thing. And then usually, as a good musician, we go with a little weight on the first note of a two-note slur. It doesn't ask us to do that. You can still do it. But you get my point. He asks us to bring up the upper neighbor. And then nothing. Can you just relax and stay out of it? Now, of course, I'm doing this to exaggerate, but one of the dangers of accentuating something or paying attention to one particular detail too strong is that we slow down the tempo. So as you could hear when I tried to make the upper neighbor come out, the tempo was affected. Da 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 da. There was a pause. Da 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 da. It's just one musical game, but no one ever plays it. How unfortunate. I want you to be different. The last thing I want to talk about is this dynamic contrast. Look at the end. A forte, the strength, and then piano, the opposite of that. So make it really distinct. What I like to do, usually we don't put a rest right on the bar line. But dare I say, do something against the rules? Yes, in this context. And the reason why I want you to put a rest is because when you have two very different dynamics, the rest will clear the palette of sound. And it's a really cool musical trick when you have something loud. That breath will allow you not only to get necessary oxygen, but you'll be able to surprise the listener because the next note will not be as part of that string of pearls of forte. It will be something completely different. And so your dynamic changes are more effective if there's a break in the sound. Put the rests in there. Number one, because as flute players, we always need more oxygen. And number two, it will create a more convincing dynamic contrast. That's what I want you to work on in number 18. Good luck and happy practicing.